Hello and welcome to the More Cheese, Less Whiskers podcast. My name is Dean Jackson, and today we have an exciting episode with Justin Brooke. And Justin is a monster in the online media and ad buying world. And he's got a wonderful training program at Ad Skills where he trains people in not just Facebook ads, all kinds of media buying, all kinds of media ads, anything from getting leads and making initial sales. He's the guy. Now, we had a really great conversation about what do you do with that, right? Where does this go? What's the biggest opportunity here? And so we focused on the wonderful opportunity of not just focusing on the skills of how to do something or teaching people how to do something, but really kind of leveling up and talking about the result. How can we package a result rather than the knowledge for getting that result? And we had a really interesting discussion about it. And it's interesting that Justin shared in the actual conversation that he was thinking of along that same line, even that very day. So we had a lot of fun hatching some evil schemes there. And I think you're going to enjoy this episode. So here we go.
Justin Brooke.
Hey, Dean, how you doing?
This call is being recorded. Did you hear that?
I did.
You know what that means?
I do know what it means, man. I'm ready.
I've got my whole evil scheme hatching rig set up right here. I've been looking forward to this.
Me too, man. Since my birth.
So let's set the stage here. Kind of tell a little bit about what you got going on and where we can jump off.
Okay. So about me or about the business right now?
Yeah, about you, because we met just a few months ago or weeks ago, within the last 90 days, I think. Yeah. So we've had a little bit of interaction that way, but I want to. So normally when I'm doing these, I've no idea who people are. So for people listening in, we need to kind of set that stage as if we're, starting at square one here.
All right. So I got started about 10 years ago. I landed a spot as an intern with a multi-million-dollar internet guy, Russell Brunson. My job as an intern was to review all of his courses and seminar footage and this huge library of material. So I got to study the greatest marketers in the world. I got the education of a lifetime.
Wow.
It was great. I literally got to study, amazing things. And my job was to review articles about these things so he could make affiliate commissions. Unpaid internship, but I still got, amazing education. And Russ took me under his wing, showed me the business, went back home, still broke because it's an unpaid internship, but I applied what I learned with an AdWords account. When I was learning everything in those seminars, to me, it seemed like paid traffic was the quickest, fastest way that I could get some success. So I set up a pathetic $2 a day ad campaign, and I ended up doubling my money that month.
Hey!
It was great. I spent $60, and I ended up making $150 my first month, and then I doubled it again and again and again. 11 months in a row, doubled it. I had a six-figure business. Quite literally, Google ads took me from eating ramen noodles to eating Red Lobster. And so that's why today I'm a paid traffic guy. Fast forward some, I've spent over $10 million, acquired over 50,000 customers for my clients. I've worked with Dan Kennedy and Agora and Ed O'Keefe, Russell Brunson, Rich Sheffer. I've had a lot of success. It's been a good ride. And now I'm no longer for hire service-wise. I'm training the next generation of media buyers because I believe it's really hard right now for people to hire an in-house media buyer or even to trust some of the agencies out there. And I'm trying to solve that problem for other businesses and matching great media buyers with great businesses.
Oh, that's so great. So where do you think would be the best place for us to kind of spend our time here to focus on what would have the biggest impact for you?
I think the biggest impact is where to go after I get somebody to opt in.
Okay.
I thought a lot about this question. I knew this question was coming.
Yeah, right.
With all your skills and with everything that I'm doing, for some reason in my agency, it was really easy to know what to do after they opted in. But now with ad skills, we've got 12 different courses, and then there's workshops, and then there's a community, and it's like, and I can only imagine if I'm thinking, what do I do after they opt in to try and tell them where to go? If I'm confused, my customer's got to be confused.
Right.
So that's where I'm trying to figure out. Yeah, I'm hoping.
Okay. Well, let's start with this. So I always like to start this journey then with what would be the thing that you could do for somebody that would be a complete dream come true for them? Like, what is it that that, when you look at it, this would just be so easy for you?
Okay. So we have mainly two different customers, and maybe that's the problem. Yeah. Maybe that's why I've been struggling.
Exactly.
60% of our customers are freelancers, agency guys, usually making six figures. They're not beginners, but they've got some clients. They're trying to grow bigger, and they're buying our courses because they want to be the best. They're trying to stay at the top of their game. Yeah. The other people who buy our courses are business owners who they don't want to learn Facebook ads. They don't want to learn Google ads. They want to buy this video course and give it to somebody on their team and have that person. So there's kind of two answers to your question. For the business owner, the dream come true has been, we sort of started like a free matchmaking service where they fill out a form and we just pair them up with a media buyer, people that are looking for jobs as well as people that are looking for clients. That's been going kind of well, but we haven't really been doing it on purpose. For the agency guy, I'm a little stuck on, he wants to be the best. I'm a little stuck on what I can do for him.
Well, let's talk about, why does he want to be the best? To what end? How is he going to define best?
So they believe that they can't charge higher prices unless they reach a certain point. They pay a certain amount of dues, and then they would be able to magically raise their price. And one of the things that they believe is, if I were better at Facebook ads or Google ads or whatever, I'd be able to charge more. And so they want to be better because they want to raise their fees. Yeah.
And it's interesting that they end up, in a lot of ways, kind of pricing themselves out of the market in a way, right? Like, where it becomes this, there's a culture of that, of constantly, raising your fees, and everybody's kind of bragging about that among the agency guys, right? Like, that's how they kind of establish themselves. Well, I charge this much, or I charge this much, or I only work with people with this much of a budget, right? It gets all these kind of expansion kind of thinking, right? And the reality is that the whole world of this advertising is it's a meritocracy, right? It's really about who can get the result for somebody. That's really the end of it. When it comes down to it, right? Like, you know yourself, there are guys who are, probably you've seen it in your world, that don't charge as much as some of the top guys, but actually get the same or better results than them.
Yeah. There's a lot of cheap guys, or I should say inexpensive guys, who get amazing results, who should be charging more. Yeah.
And there's an interesting element of it that when you break down the elements of any kind of paid traffic, because you're doing it all, right? You're doing pay-per-click, Facebook, Instagram, all, and media, all of it. Any kind of online traffic you can imagine, you're doing it, right? That's what you're teaching people how to do. So that's the big category of it. That in any of those things, it comes down to two pieces, right? It comes down to the creative of it, and it comes down to the execution of it. And the actual execution can be taught and learned by a lot of people, right?
Yes.
I mean, you're thinking about more of the executing a plan. How much of the time would go into the creative versus the execution?
So
how would you break down that? How would you break down that value?
It's a really great question, because a lot of people have it backwards. Almost everybody jumps right to buying ads, and they should be spending a lot more time planning the ads they're going to buy. They should be planning the targeting, the messaging. Where are they going to buy it? What pixels are they going to need? They should be spending like 80% of their time in planning, and then the buying part, you can almost outsource that part to freelancer. It's just setting up campaigns. It's the planning that makes the money.
Right. Yeah, and that's kind of, is there any resource for that? Like, is there any resource for the back? Let's come almost, so we called it the back office stuff, right? The below the line stuff of the execution of it.
So we have those
any
in our
marketplace
courses
for it? Yeah.
Oh, is there a marketplace?
Courses? Yeah. I mean, is there? Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, is there a? Would you say that the people who are coming to you and what you're teaching people is more on the creative front or on the technical front of what to do and how to do it, kind of thing?
So it's both. We have the planning parts, how to research your customer, how to know what interest to use, how to know what, makes a good ad. But we struggle to get people to watch those parts. Like, I have to be super adamant. I have to almost say, like, if you don't watch this part of the course, then you're a dummy. It's like they all want to skip to, how do I go set up the magical lookalike audience thing of the month that I heard about on wherever.
Yeah. And it's constantly changing, right? Constantly moving. So
it does. The latest thing now, there's dynamic, creative Facebook ads, and everybody wants to go do that campaign.
Mm-hmm.
But if they don't do the planning, they're going to struggle.
Right. And when you think about how much these things change, there's so much on the technical side. Still, there's constantly new options, new things to keep on top of.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I guess what I'm really curious about is thinking about how you can maximize the assets that you have to really create the biggest result. Like I always ask people that, what would be a dream come true for the person, but it's almost like, what would be the thing that you could do for somebody if they would just kind of get out of the way and let you do it? I really believe that we're moving in a direction of the definitely being able to push a button and have things happen. I mean, we're moving towards that, right? And there's never been a better time to be a creative, right? Who's somebody who knows what to do really helps. And I don't know that the real future is in teaching people how to do stuff as much as it is in guiding them on what to do, and then having it done, how to get it done, you know?
Yeah. So I think the most valuable thing that I could do is provide them with that planning. Like if they were to fill out some sort of questionnaire and magically it gives them a media planning document like we create that shows them, here's your link, here's your targeting, here's the images, the headlines. That would be just insanely valuable to them. I also think what they really want is kind of like, Frank Kern has that 4-day cash machine. They kind of want the 4-day cash machine of Facebook ads, of Google ads, of YouTube ads.
Yes, that's exactly it, is when you're looking at pushing a button and being able to describe what they want, like if you think about the outcomes that you can create with media, I look at it that it's in my world a profit activator 2 activity, right? Of getting, it's the first part, profit activator 1, selecting your target audience, profit activator 2, getting them to raise their hand, compelling them to raise their hand. So turning sort of invisible prospects into visible prospects. And so when you look at it in the outcome, how are we going to do that? And in most cases, they're either going to opt in, or they're going to, in many cases, if it's a low-priced front-end offer, they're going to buy something, right? But that first, it's almost like it's all about creating that first interaction with somebody.
Okay.
And so I look at it, and there's lots of different ways to get to that level, but it's really about turning that invisible prospect into a visible prospect. So when you look at it, that's most of the things that you're doing. Would you say they are lead generation or sale producing activities, like initial sale stuff? What's the?
You mean in what I'm doing in my business?
Yeah, well, what you're best at, or what you're, maybe what you're teaching in your business, or what you're doing in your business, however you think that fits.
So for me, lead gen is a piece of cake. I can get leads for like between 60 cents and $2 all day, thousands per day. But I have most of the clients, and what I teach has been sales pages, getting to the sale, because a lot of people don't really want leads, they want sales. And so I've become good at that as well.
Mm-hmm.
And they would rather, like, if you ask them, do you want leads or sales, they're going to say sales, And so that's what our courses teach. Our courses, we teach a lot more sales. I would say it's 80 to 90% how to get a sale, and then there's also some ways to get leads.
Mm-hmm. And so what would be some of the, what would be the top kind of way that you think about that? How would you make that distinction? What would you do differently if your outcome is to get a sale versus getting a lead?
I mean, the first thing, pretty simple. You just drive to a sales page instead of a squeeze page.
Right. Okay. Yep.
But then you also have to make sure you're pre-framing it correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Where a lead, it's pretty easy to get a lead. You can make a lot of mistakes and still get some leads. Whereas if you make some mistakes, it's you can lose sales really quickly. And so you got to make sure that you're framing it correctly. You also have to make sure there's compliance issues.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't just, a lot of people are trying to be too aggressive. Every copywriting book in the world says, a good headline is, here's how you can lose weight, lose 30 pounds in 30 days. Well, in almost every ad network, you can't say that.
Mm-hmm. Right. right.
And
yeah,
so
no, I get it.
That's the big problem is compliance on the sales page.
Mm-hmm. So, part of the thing that I wonder about is the value of the long term here. I was so kind of excited about this because I just got the infographic of the results of a 4-year case study that I just finished with one of our real estate clients. And it shows what happened over a 4-year period from September 2013 till last month. 4 years, from 13 to 17, and it tracks the money that he spent along the bottom of the infographic month by month. He'd spent just over $50,000, but he generated over that 4-year period $543,000. So an 11-to-1 ROI on the money that he spent, and this is postcards, not online. This is offline stuff.
Right.
But the amazing thing was that there were 22 transactions from people who responded in the first year over these 4 years. In the first year, he did 6 transactions from that group of the people who responded and sold their house. But then he went on to do an additional, 15 or 16 transactions, so almost 3 times more over the next 4 years. And that, to me, is really like showing this, I call it this capital investment mindset as opposed to an expense-based mindset to lead generation or front-end sales in a way. Because if somebody's looking to go for the sale on the front end, are they typically, what would be the price range of things that people would choose that option for, going?
We tell them if it's $100 or cheaper, that they should go right to the sales page.
Okay.
If it's over $100, they should generate a lead and build up the rapport.
Right. Okay. Yeah, and that makes sense, the way that the approach would go. But it's really interesting to think about how many more $100 sales could be made with a little bit of an extension out on the on the front end. Mm-hmm. If somebody like thinking about what they're missing out on, like if you look at what would be a win on a front end sale conversion like that, like if you're what kind of percentage would you say would be a home run?
A home run would be like 2-3% or higher.
Right.
Average is 0.5 to 1%.
Yeah. So a home run, let's call it 2, right? That would be a thing. Now, when you look at that means they've driven, 100 people and 2 people bought, but then they don't know who the other 98 are. Now, on a softer basis, you get to pixel them and kind of go with them again, right? Like you're doing retargeting for those things. But, have you had people do the math on what it would look like if they could get, a 50% opt-in, or even, let's even go, if you're going from cold traffic, a 20% opt-in, and say, sending 100 people there and having 20 people instead of just the 2, without even, like, I even think within the first 48 hours, the 2 who would buy for $100 are still within that 20, and you could probably get them to buy right away anyway.
Right. Yeah, you're right.
And still have those 18 people to,
follow up with.
Extend out. Yeah, over that longer period of time. I just see, like, the more that I've been doing this and the more that I've been documenting everything, it's really become crystal clear that it's all about all the money is in the long game,
Mm-hmm. So maybe I should be after they opt in, there should be a sequence telling them, here's a neat little campaign you can do to start getting some leads with such and such network, and points them over to, like, buy this course and you'll learn this neat little campaign.
Mm-hmm. I mean, part of it is that, there's something about this, idea of building these lists or these categories. It's kind of I'm thinking about this from your perspective here. Okay, that if you've got kind of a broad array of people who are following you, who are doing these things. You kind of mentioned, like, agency guys or business owners, and you'll take all of them and show them the actual business of it, right? Like how it all works. But are you doing anything sort of specifically for a single target audience? Like if you were to say, like, one, I do a lot of syndication stuff. So, like, saying, if you, like, I take real estate agents, and I've got all of the tools and things that they, to help them. Are you building any assets like that could be push button deployed by a law firm or a financial advisor or any type of business where they could get the outcome without having to learn it for themselves or hire somebody to learn it?
Not currently. No, we thought we were being narrow by just focusing on paid traffic and not focusing on all marketing. But I'm now seeing that, it's still not narrow enough, because it's paid traffic for this type of business and that type of business. That's kind of the biggest question we get is, will Facebook ads work for lawyers? Will Facebook ads work for this?
Right.
That? Yeah.
And it's like, part of the thing is like that, when you think about it, there's what a lawyer really wants to hear, or what a dentist really wants to hear, or what a financial advisor wants to hear is, here's some people who want to, get their case handled, or get their money handled, or get their teeth fixed, or whatever it is. And I've just found, I break things into into the before unit, the during unit, and the after unit, like breaking a business into three distinct divisions, And what most business owners really truly want, if they're practitioners, is they just want to be in their business, right? They just want to help people with whatever it is that they do.
Right.
They don't want to have to figure out all of this marketing stuff. That's not what they went to school for or what they opened the business for. And they would, I think we're certainly at a point in time where that's available for them,
Yeah. Okay.
And it feels like you've got a unique opportunity in that you know how to do this. Like you could do it in your sleep, right? Like you were just saying that generating leads is like so easy for you, but you could fill a room with interns like you were a part of who to learn at your feet would be the biggest opportunity for them, But to deploy that on a situation where you're helping, create what I call a scale-ready algorithm. Is once you crack the code, because that's the thing is it's almost like the way I look at it, and I think the way you would look at it in this situation, it's like it's so easy for you. It's like doing a Sudoku puzzle or something, right? Like you just you just go tink, 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 tink. There it is, right? And you figure that out. You can see immediately the creative and the idea and know what to do. And for somebody, any local business, to build a list of people, that's like such an amazing asset for them. If they could get a list of 1,000 people for a few $1,000s, that would be such a snowball for them, because it would give them such a great foundation to kind of grow from.
Yeah, I'm understanding. I'm wondering if that means we have to change our courses or if there's something we could add to the courses.
Well, I wonder.
I'm trying to think about how I'm going to apply it.
Yeah, so I wonder if you created an opportunity to create a marketplace for scale-ready algorithms in a way. If people have already figured out this ad to this landing page gets this result on a local basis, and you have an opportunity to license it to those people, to people in a particular business, that might be something unique. There's really
amazing that you said that, because we're right now, me and my wife were sitting in a Regis office. The kids are up at her dad's, so like we had a day to just go into an office and whiteboard, and literally 5 feet away from me on the whiteboard is marketplace and licensing with a question mark next to it. Oh, that's awesome. So
okay, yeah. Justin, I want you to reach in your left pocket right now.
Yes.
Is the card you're holding the King of Hearts?
Yes, it is. It is. That's awesome.
That is funny. But that, I look at it that, you're that might be like your opportunity to go to the next level kind of thing, right? Like somebody can, because, the reason that people are so attracted to pay-per-click when it first came out, like I was there when GoTo.com started, right? The very first pay-per-click search engine. That's what started my whole Stop Your Divorce situation. Before that, we were doing classified ads in the newspaper, or a little 2x2 display ads, and generating leads and mailing out a sales letter. for the book. And then when GoTo came along, we could bid on those words, and it was such a it added some predictability to it.
Right.
You could say, I can pay this much, because then I would just put the sales letter online and send people to that page. And the reason that we like the pay-per-click so much is that we get a guaranteed result, right? We put in the money and we get clicks, and we realize that we have to take it from there, right? And that's what the mechanics of setting up a campaign to get somebody to view the website are going to create. They're going to have wildly different results depending on the words that you put in the ad and the words that you put on the page that they land on, right? That's where the creative makes the biggest difference. And that's where, you hear these things like I've always been, on the side of ideas, because ideas sometimes get a bad rap, that in the business world, that everybody who's this hustle and grind and doing it stuff, that the prevailing thing is that ideas are useless, execution is everything. Mm-hmm. But the reality is that execution is becoming a commodity. Mm-hmm. Execution, first of all, the two don't exist independently, right? You can't execute nothing. You got to execute something. And let's say that you can flawlessly execute what you're doing. You can flawlessly set up your Facebook ad account or your Taboola account or whatever it is. You can flawlessly enter in the words and set up all the account with, easy to see everything with all the right campaign tracking and everything on it. You can execute all of that flawlessly. But the only thing that can improve flawless execution is executing a better idea.
Right.
Right. So the ideas are really where the value is. And I think that when you can layer on top of this available execution, right? It's easy for people to learn the mechanics of running a Facebook campaign and running an AdWords campaign, running all those things. There's a lot more people who can do that than can know what to say, right?
Right, yeah. What's the idea that we're going to execute on?
What's the idea? And but there's nobody kind of going that next level, which is now connecting the idea with the execution for the outcome. And so there, people, business owners who are during unit focused, and let's be honest, some business owners are marketing centric. They don't. It's their favorite thing is to market the business. They don't actually want to do the business.
Hello, that's me.
And that's that's part of it. To understand that there's a giant marketplace of business owners who actually do want to do the business that they're in.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And that they would love to have a predictable way to push a button and have the outcome of leads and the outcome of nurturing those leads over the next 12, 24, 36 months for, lots of business,
Yeah, okay. So, we do have a 9-day email sequence that our customers really love. So you're saying maybe license that and for a specific, like lawyers or dentist or whatever.
Yeah, right. I mean, when you think about it, that the idea of, what would it, like, just getting somebody, if a lawyer or any kind of small business could get a list of people who are their ideal prospects over the next 12, 24 months, something that they could continue to nurture, they would be thrilled with that,
Okay.
And then it becomes just like adding the next level where they don't have to now learn the creative. It's putting if you've already, especially, and not every market is suited for this, but there are a lot of markets that are. If you think about any local business, is certainly suitable for syndication.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have a pretty good process for getting leads for people who have physical products.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that one. Yeah, my best campaign was in the survival market. We ran a campaign and we were doing 2,000 leads a day, and like within a week. Okay, so just go back to that campaign, create all the assets, create a way to be able to deliver that campaign to other people like that person that we ran it for.
Yeah, if that's the kind of thing, when you're looking at it, see, there's part of the thing is that you can create, you can set up a campaign for something that's going to be, a one-off, or just as easily as you could set up something that has some opportunity to be used again and again and again,
Okay.
Like deployed on that maximum way. That just seems like, you've kind of got, I think, that great opportunity. There's nothing like that I know of right now that is a marketplace for scale-ready algorithms,
Right. Like, if you're in this market, use this campaign, this landing page, this sequence.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because that's the kind of thing, like the beauty of when I show people that getting listings chart, like I've got that program, and there's thousands of people that use that program all over North America, that all over the world, really, because we have people in London and Australia and Spain using the same postcard system, sending people to a landing page, building a list of people who are likely to sell their house in the next, 12, 24, 36, 4 years, whatever, the longer it is, the better. But we've got an entire system for them to do it, right? Here's the postcard. Here's the landing page. Here's the initial package that you send them. Here's the book. Here are 12 newsletters to follow up with them. So, if you think about that on the online version of that could be the generate the lead. Here's the landing page. Here's, what you're doing all of that for them. You just pick them up where they get the lead, and it's
almost
packaged
like
then. Mm-hmm.
Instead of teaching them how to get to that point, it's giving them those assets, and then like you're going to get these when you buy our course, which is going to show you how to set these assets up.
It could be, or it could even be that you can get more money with less kind of hassle,
Right.
Because showing people how the outcome, they'll continue to pay. They pay more for the outcome than the recipe.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Okay.
Like I imagine, creating almost like I was thinking about this, like if I looked on my whiteboard for GoGo clients, which is our platform for landing pages, autoresponders, toll-free voicemail, texting, and a CRM, all of that, and postcards, all of those tools. That's my vision for this, is that these are the tools that we have, but to create this, what I've done with the real estate agents is create gogoagent.com, which is all of those tools bundled with all of my solutions that I've already figured out for the real estate world,
Okay, so if I could create this marketplace, the scale-ready algorithms marketplace,
mm-hmm.
how do I go from they've opted in to selling the scale-ready marketplace? Do I just
you're the
first
best
email?
Well, you're the best lead generator in the world, right?
Well, yeah, so, I can generate the leads. Yeah. I'm talking about what do I say to them?
Well, I think if you think about it, it would be an interesting thing of generating the lead for the outcome. So for me, for instance, I have a book for the realtors called Getting Listings. So it's all just focused on the outcome. That's how we generate the lead, right. Is get them who, have what would be the title of the book that they would definitely want. Getting Listings, there it is, right? How to get all the listings you want in any area you want without making a single cold call or spending thousands on personal promotion. It's like a crack for a real estate agent, right? That's what they really want. And so now that somebody's asked for that book, I know that that's what they want, right? So it's kind of, now you focus on giving them the outcome. And maybe you can fall back to the courses, but I think it could be an interesting thing that if you've got an opportunity in place to, and, it seems bigger than it needs to be initially, like it seems like there's way more to it. But when you think about it, just one target audience at a time, like right. what one business kind of comes to mind for you that you could do in your sleep, that how to generate leads for that business?
Anybody selling like outdoor gear to.
Perfect. Okay. So you look at outdoor gear like that. So how many outdoor gear stores are there, or local businesses or whatever like that would love to have a list of people who love to do that kind of thing. Now gear and products like that are kind of they're moving to be sort of more decentralized in a way, where you don't have to do that on a local basis, because you can, any physical product you can ship anywhere tomorrow,
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I was thinking e-com stores, that anybody selling flashlights, tents, boots, survival food, mm-hmm. all those e-com, mm-hmm. I could create this campaign, basically just duplicate everything I already done and already figured out, just package mm-hmm. it together for them.
Mm-hmm.
How do you come up with what to charge for something like that?
Well, everything's going to be based on the result, right? So when you look at it, that if we take the whole pie, if you just draw a circle and take the whole pie, and then, what has to happen from that is some percentage of that sale has to account for the sales and marketing, like what would people be cheerfully able to budget for that, and that could be at the highest level,
Right. Yeah. So they have to They have to pay for the leads.
Yeah.
And so I mean, at the end of the day, they want to be able to get an ROI on the whole thing, the purchase from me and the leads. Right.
Yes. Because that's
and so
anybody.
If they're okay with $3 a lead, and we're giving them a system to get 1,000 leads. Okay, I see how to back into the price now.
Right. Yeah, because you know how to get those leads for less money and more efficiently and faster than they're going to be able to figure out how to get them. Right? If they could push a button right now with no further time invested, snap their fingers and have the equivalent of 1,000 leads for $3, they would love that, right? Yeah. And so if that's an affordable number for them, the thing that they've got to realize is you may be able to get those leads for $2, and you've got that arbitrage in a way, because the reality is what they're faced with is because that button's not available, they have to push this other button that says learn how to do these Facebook or online ads and train your staff how to do them, and then they have to train their staff to learn how to do them, and then they still have to fund it and come up with the creative and do all of that stuff. So you're really bundling in the actual cost of what it's going to take them to do it on their own,
Right.
And it would be a bargain.
Yeah, for sure, because they're going to save a lot of time and they're going to save money.
Yeah. And get the result with certainty.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Well, that gives me some great ideas, and all right. Just got to go execute on these ideas, as you said.
Okay, so tell me what you heard then, because we've got about 10 minutes here. So let's kind of wrap it into a bow here and kind of see where that, what your thought process is here.
Yeah. So what I heard is I'm going from somebody opting in for, whatever, and then getting them to try and buy a course. And what they're really trying to get out of the course is the whatever system I have that's going to get them the results. And so you're saying sell the system instead, because they don't really want to go through the course. Right, sell the result. Right.
That's what they really want. Like the reason, that you're exactly right. Like when you think about it, the only reason somebody's going to buy, baking pans and baking tools is because they're going to bake something, right?
Yeah.
Whereas what they really want is cupcakes.
Yeah. They want a nice warm brownie.
That's exactly right. And if that was there, and in a lot of ways, it's like some people are doing that because it's really entertaining to them, that they really want to, it's exciting to them to learn something new and to, be a marketer, and it kind of distracts them from the drudgery of actually doing their business, So that makes a big difference. And so when you really think about it, that's kind of that's one type of thing. But then there's a bigger market of people who really just want a reliable, dependable, affordable source for cupcakes.
Right. Yeah.
Right. They want delicious cupcakes just like their mom made. That they don't have to go and get all the supplies and learn how to do it and do all that stuff. If there was a easy button for it. And we've seen in every single instance, just in society where that has become an option, it's fully embraced. You know, we look at Uber. We don't just get, I wonder what Uber's doing to the car rental business for tourist destinations and stuff, right? Like, no need. I can't remember the last time I rented a car anywhere. Yeah. Because I know that I can go, I can push a button, and there's going to be a car at my feet in 5 minutes in anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
That's really what we're definitely moving in that direction, right? Same thing with like Airbnb, right? If I want to go somewhere and I don't want to stay in a hotel, there's just this option of just push this button and there it is. I don't have to, do all the research.
Yeah, you're getting exactly what you want without having to go through the whole process.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think betting on people's desire to get what they want with as little friction as possible is a play that can't go wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this gives me a lot of stuff to do.
I'm very excited.
I got to go build a scale-ready algorithm marketplace.
Awesome. I'm very excited. Maybe we can collaborate and we'll load it up into GoGo clients.
That'd be
give
cool.
People the landing pages and all the stuff they need to execute them.
Yes. Yeah, there we go.
Love it.
Well, it's always a pleasure to talk to you, Dean. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much.
Thanks, Justin.
And there we have it. Another great episode. I really enjoyed that conversation. Justin is a genius. And I always love talking with people who are super, super able to generate results for people. And I could really hear the wheels turning here. And imagine, if there was a marketplace for results. I don't think you can go wrong going down that path. When you start thinking about all the things that we're embracing in our lives that are moving in that direction. We mentioned Uber, like just getting to the point where I can push a button and get the result of a car at my feet in 5 minutes or less anywhere in the world that's going to deliver me to wherever I want to go. And I just get out. And all the logistics of the payment and the organization and all that stuff is taken care of. We're definitely moving in that direction. I see it happening every day, even in my life. I mean, you look at the Starbucks app. It's just such a amazing thing to go to Starbucks and push on my app the things that I want, make the order right there and go and just pick them up. It's like bypassing all of the logistics of everything. And, I think that there's really a great opportunity to create. It's something that Peter Diamandis coined the interface moments, where you've got an opportunity to create a result for somebody that takes a little bit of logistics and may connect to people, right? It may may involve other people creating that result. Like if you look at the way Uber works, for instance, you've got on one side people who have a car and the desire to make extra money and the time to take people around. And you've got people who want to get to where they're going, and creating an interface called Uber, the app, to connect those people. Is that kind of thinking. Same thing with Airbnb. That kind of thinking is where we have the opportunity for applying it to all these other things. When you look at what Justin's got, he mentioned on one side, he's got agencies and practitioners who want to learn how to be the very best at buying ads and running media campaigns, generating leads for people. But then on the other side, you've also got people who just want the result and would just, hire somebody to execute those things. And if you can identify the result that you can actually deliver for people, that is an interface, where if imagine in that marketplace, if you start thinking about it, goes back to our profit activators. Profit activator 1, select a single target market. See, right now, learning media and learning ads is very broad, but getting leads for a bike repair shop is something that the guy who owns the bike repair shop really wants, or a bike, selling bikes and repairing bikes. If you take that, that's a localized kind of business. And once you figure out how to do that, if somebody figures out how to run a campaign and get leads for a bike business and can package that up as a scale ready algorithm, and Justin's able to create a marketplace for that, where a bike owner could say, I just want to get some profitable bike clients. That's an amazing outcome. And so that, think about the opportunities within your business for that kind of thinking, right? Where can you apply that sort of interface thinking and create scale ready algorithms for you and a marketplace for them? So very exciting. I love that. Stimulates a lot of ideas in those. So that's it for this week. If you want to continue the conversation, you can go to morecheeselesswhiskers.com. You can download a copy of the More Cheese, Less Whiskers book. And if you'd like to be a guest and hatch some evil schemes for your business, just click on the Be a Guest link and we can connect and talk about your business. So that's it for this week. Have a great week, and I will talk to you next time. Bye-bye.